Hi everybody and big welcome to cEDH TV gameplay, the normal crew as always, joined by Emil. Today I am playing Kotis, Steel, Voltron and Necro, and that pretty much says everything. So it's a little bit of a mixture, so we have a Necropotence and Born Upon the Wind, Valley Floodcaller, even adding in a emergency zone, there it is. But I'm also mixing a little bit with some mid-range cards that's like Sword of Truth and Justice, Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of Fire and Ice, Conqueror's Flail and even Dragonfire's Blade. Because Kotis has a kinda... the more punching power he has, the more cards you steal and the more expensive spells you can cast. So there are some value in trying to making his power grow and try to turn it into a Voltron deck, but it is not a commander-centric build. It is still very turbo orientated, or have the capacity to be that, so you can kinda pivot and switch, not being too all in on one concept.
While doing my normal scrambling last minute to find any interesting deck to play, I came across this deck that got second place in a tournament with 111 players. And that's a crazy accomplishment for any deck, but a deck this crazy? I don't know, I have to play it, I have to try it.
All right, so I am back with Thrasios Tymna, Chain Stasis. This is a deck I remixed a long time ago, and you know, I've liked it. I come back to it every once in a while. Something like Walking Ballista with an Infinite Outlet, or Thassa's Oracle.
I am playing Grand Arbiter again. What makes my Grand Arbiter deck different from many other decks is that it has no other stacks pieces than the commander itself. And that's not stacks piece, it's just a cost reducer, right? It tries to win by accruing value and establish a board state that is inevitably winning at the end.
So I actually like this opening hand. We have turn 1 Dork, turn 2 with the second land we have 3 mana, and then Lotus Petal. We have Commander turn 2, and then we can attack and start doing the Commander thing on turn 3. I mean, we're here to play the Commander, or well, I want to experiment playtest with the Commander. We could mulligan for better hands than this. We also have Emergency Zone already, which means that if we just draw into Necro or any tutor, or if we hit any tutor, we can tutor for Necro and we have kind of the combo assembled. So I'm gonna keep this hand. We could mulligan for better, but I'm feeling like I'm gonna get the game I wanna experiment with. And it's not a bad hand in the end.
From what I understand, this deck, the goal of this deck rather, is to play a bunch of like cheap, effective creatures early, and then once you actually play your commander, you just win, because you have established this board state that just wins, basically. And this hand would maybe be able to do that if the Talon Gates was Madara types of color. But as it doesn't do that, this hand just doesn't work. While otherwise, we have some of the best cards here in this hand. It's just a bit awkward mana-wise, and yeah, with the land, it's just not working mana-wise. So let's go to second summon. We have turn 1 DRC, and then we have a turn 2 Proof Medallion, and that's the actual interesting part of this hand. It's still a bit awkward in mana production because we don't really have any mana, or even short on lands. We do have some filtering with the DRC. You know what, I'm not trying this hand. There's potential here. I'm just not sure if the potential is here enough, so to say. It feels wrong, but I'm scared. Yeah, we got in here. I'm scared. That's a long time ago. Oh well, keeping a 7 because I'm scared. My new life.
I like this hand. I mean, I can get out Thrasios on turn 1. Then I have Worldly Tutor, but I also have Archivist of Ogma, which I can sack later to Diabolic Intent, perhaps using these various mana sources to get something like Basalt Monolith. You know, there's a kind of a clear game plan along the way with 2 tutors anyways, so let's go ahead and keep it.
I really like keeping 7 card hands, so that might be a weakness in my playstyle, but I have 3 lands that produce 4 mana. I'm pretty happy about that. The Ancient Tomb is not to be underestimated. I think that the Mystical Tutor could possibly be used to just go for Enlightened Tutor into Rhystic Study. That's not impossible. I'll go to my first draw. I'm going to play Polluted Delta. I will sack it on my turn, losing a life, putting a Tundra into play, and then I will pass.
Take my turn. Draw a card. Put a Tundra into play. Exile Elvish Spirit Guide. We will put a Delighted Halfling into play. I will pass.
Go to my turn. Land of turn via Snow Card Mountain. I'll tap it to cast a Dragon's Rage Chandler. And with that in play, I'll pass my turn.
Draw a card. Tropical Island, tap it. Well, also casting a Lotus Petal that we're sacrificing to achieve 2 mana to cast a Talisman of Curiosity. Tapping that for green, taking a damage to cast a Death Right Shaman. And here I pass the turn.
On your end step, I will play a Mystical Tutor, and I will find Enlightened Tutor. I'm going to cast Enlightened Tutor. Esper Sentinel. That's on top of my deck, and I'm gonna play Command Tower. I'm gonna tap it for a white and cast Esper Oh, fuck, it's on my deck. I'm going to cast Pitaxian Probe, targeting Rhetoric. That resolves, I draw a card. That's Esper Sentinel, and I have a white mana in the mana pool. I'm gonna cast Esper Sentinel.
Draw a card. Gemstone Caverns. I pass.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be a Snowcard Mountain to cast a Ruby Medallion, not paying for Esper and triggering Dragon Slayer Channeler. I will surveil. Oh, I'll leave that on top. Pass.
Draw a card! Here's an emergency zone as a land drop. I'm going to remove Emil's land to get a colored mana with the Deathrite Shaman. Then 1 mana here to take a damage, 1 mana here and 4 here. So I can cast my commander, Kotis the Fangkeeper. Pass the turn.
Draw a card. I'm going to play an Ancient Tomb. I'm just gonna play another Esper Sentinel, of course, for 4 mana. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. I'm going to pass.
It's a weird mana day because we have this emergence zone. This is great. I'm going to cast Thrasios and then I will Passios.
Go to my turn. From my understanding of the deck, what I'm about to do is probably incorrect. You don't want to develop your commander until you have the actual resources to exploit them. Either way, that's the understanding I have. Casting Zada early does open it up to interaction, and we don't really have any payoffs right now. We have spells to cast, not very impactful ones, so not any that actually protect our cards. But I think actually casting them and before I untap and also surveil to make sure we get the payoff spell. Yeah, that's the play. So we're casting our commander early, which is problematic, but I think it's our max EV play because all others are really slow. And we're not really getting outpaced hard, but we're not in a great spot either. So yeah, let's go with that. Land for turn will be a Mutavault, and then to cast my commander, Zada Hedron Grinder. And I was going to play the load spell here. I think that's incorrect because of the double draw from Esper. I'm going to hold this load spell back, and then we start doing stuff in our upkeep. And if we miss out on one surveil, that's life. But I think this is the more reliable play overall. So just passing the turn.
Untap and draw a card. Land drop is a Scalding Tarn. In order to cast this, I'm going to tap this for green, sacrifice Scalding Tarn, finding an Underground Sea, tapping that for blue to cast Simic Charm on my commander, choosing the mode +3/+3. Paying for both Esper Sentinels actually. I'm then going to punch Pontus with my Kotis for 5/4.
No blocks, take 5.
I was honestly super scared you were gonna block with a creature there. In any case, exile the top 5 cards, please.
You will exile Final Fortune, Stormkill Artist, Talongates of Madara, Jessica's Will, Pyroblast. Those were pretty good hits, not gonna lie. I'm scared.
So we're going to cast Jessica's Will, Pyroblast and Stormkill Artist. We are not going to cast Final Fortune. Kinda tempted, but no, in the end.
Coward.
I'm going to target Pontus with my Jessica's Will, generating 5 red mana. That is gonna be great with this deck. Exiling Agatha's Cauldron, a land, and a land. Then we're gonna Pyroblast Thrasios, the only target.
Boo.
Lastly, Stormkill Artist resolves. Some of you might say, why didn't I cast Stormkill Artist first? The answer is I don't. I put them all on the stack and then I sort them and I cast them all at the same time. So Stormkill Artist doesn't have a chance of getting a trigger, even if I would have resolved him first. With 2 of my 5 red, I'm gonna cast an Agatha's Cauldron that I exiled with the Jessica's Will. After this, I don't have anything more to do with my 3 red mana, so I pass the turn.
There we go. What I have been doing in this game so far is probably causing a lot of questions from the audience. I have paid 3 cards to play an Esper Sentinel with my Mystical Tutor and my Enlightened Tutor. And then I played a Sakashima, which was another Esper Sentinel for 4 mana. These might look like really questionable plays. The thing is that my commander is not having any card draw built into itself. So I'll go to my turn, pay 4 mana for my commander. Grand Arbiter, Augustin. The 4th. I'm going to pass.
Take my turn. Yeah, I mean, pass.
Land for turn will be an emergency zone. I will pay 1 for a Lotus Petal triggering DRC. Paying for 1 Esper. With the DRC trigger, I'll surveil, and I guess I keep that on top. Somehow I just missed that Emil would have Grand Abolisher mana, or Arbiter. I was thinking about slow rolling, and I immediately get punished, as you do, because slow rolling is cringe. This card that's on top now, Witchmark, is one of the best cards in the deck, I think. You target, so it copies, and you discard once. So this would draw me 6 cards if I had surveilled first before draw. Now it's just stuck there, and if Mons hits me, it's gone. Oh, well, it's gonna cast it because it's good. But that's sad. My plan now is to just slow roll. But as it stands now, this is awkward, and I'm passing.
In your end step, Pontus, I'm gonna use Agata Soul's Cauldron to exile your Jessica's Will. Then I will go to my turn, untap. Rhetoric, I'm coming at you with my commander.
Have fun. Go for it. No blocks. Let's see what you got here. You got City of Brass, and you have a Demonic Consultation.
Do I want to do that? It would have been so awesome if I had Fastest in my hand right now. It's in the deck, so that's not a no. That's not a go. So we are actually going to use Demonic Consultation as intended as a tutor. Now we have to pay for the Grand Arbiter Augustine, but we are going to generate a treasure. We are not going to pay for any of the Esper Sentinels, so Emil can happily over there draw a card, or 2 cards rather. I'm going to name Necropotence, beginning by exiling the top 6, not finding a Necro. Alright, not losing Necro, not dying. So we dig until we hit Necro, and hopefully don't lose like too much of the deck, honestly. We have a lot of life, so we're sitting in a pretty good position to Necro here. We have now lost both Consult and Tainted Pact, so that's annoying. Mnemonic Betrayal is still in the deck. Meme Bet is gone too, that was actually very sad. Oh, we lost Fastest Oracle. That's sad. We have a Praetor's Grasp remaining in the deck, so we're technically fine. Valley Flood Color is gone, but we don't need Valley Flood Color. There's the Necropotence. Land drop is gonna be a Breeding Pool. We are not paying for a Breeding Pool, it's gonna come into play tapped. Then we're gonna announce and cast Necropotence. Deathrite Shaman is gonna exile my Scalding Tarn for a black, and then last treasure, and I need to pay 1 more mana. I'm gonna use the Emergency Zone actually for Necropotence against the Grand Arbiter Augustine, the tax effect. I am going to pay 4 life to draw exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And then my turn is over.
I'm going to play a Marsh Flats, and I'm really good at paying life in Azorius, apparently. So I'm gonna tap and sack and find a Steam Vent, because I think that's the most optimal way to pay life, right?
I have a response. I will, with your crack, I will cast Archivist of Ogma.
It's not Steam Vents, it's Hallow Fountain. It's, okay, doing my shuffly. 1 white. Sheltered by Ghosts, targeting Esper Sentinel. I think the table should agree with me that the Stormkiln Artist is probably a priority.
Stormkiln is exiled.
Sapphire Medallion. Pass the turn.
I'm going to draw a card. Now, guys, remind me, did I say this was a 4-color deck? Soul Ring for 2, not paying taxes, tap out, and I will cast Timna. Paying the 1 extra with the Shoal Shring, and then I will go to combat and attack Mons for 2.
I'll take 2.
I will pay 1, draw 1 with Timna's ability, which is great because I top decked a land. That makes me happy, so I'll pay 2 life. I will pass.
Good, my turn. Land for turn will be a City of Traitors. Tap Mutavault for 1, use that 1 to make it a creature. 1 colorless floating. I'll cast a Ancestor's Aid, targeting my Dragon's Rage Channeler. Trigger Zada and trigger Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm not paying my taxes. Ancestor's Aid will give all my creatures +2/+0 and first strike, and I'll create 3 treasures. No, before that I actually have a Surveil trigger. I'll leave that on top again. After that, I will tap a mountain, pay my floating colorless to cast a Witch's Mark, targeting my Dragon's Rage Channeler again. The card draw isn't actually as set up because it's not an initial cost you cast the spell. It's on resolve. You may discard a card, and if you do draw a card, draw 2 cards. And the actual effect is to create a Wicked Roll attached, which is why it targets a single creature, and you get the Zada triggers. So that thing I had, I just didn't know about the draw thing. But oh well, we have 3 copies of Witch's Mark. So I will resolve the first one, targeting the DRC. So I'll discard this Spawning Breath, draw 2, attach this Wicked Roll to my DRC, Then the second copy, targeting Mutavault, resolves. I will discard this no-card mountain, draw 2, attach the Wicked Roll. The last one resolves, targeting my Zada, and I'll discard this Sundering Eruption, which is a flip land, to draw 2, which is marked as Stone Resolving. I've been announcing spells wrong, by the way. I'm targeting Zada because otherwise my deck doesn't work. That's just a skill issue, and let's just pretend I'm doing things correctly, okay? Because there's no difference here. Sorry. I should read cards. I'll tap Emergency Zone, sacrifice a treasure to cast a Rhetoric.
I have a response. I'm going to pay 1 blue and cast a GAAIV. Targeting Zada. It says, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you control that permanent, draw a card.
In response to the GAAIV targeting my commander, I'll sack 2 treasures to cast a Sudden Breakthrough targeting my Zada. Trigger, copy for the DRC and the Mutavaults, and a DRC trigger on the stack. This is just the same card again, +2/+0, first strike, and treasure tokens. Sudden Breakthrough resolves, and I'll surveil first, because I always forget. This Flower of Duplication could be good, but I'm actually just gonna put it in my graveyard. And then I'll make my 3 treasures, and then, still in response to the GAAIV, I'll crack 2 treasures to cast a stun targeting my Zada, and make it so that Zada can't block this turn, and draw a card. Trigger Zada, trigger DRC. So DRC will trigger, I'll surveil, I'll put this Magus of the Moon into my graveyard, then the first stun will resolve, I'll draw a card. The second stun will resolve, I'll draw a card. And the third stun will resolve, and I will draw a card. And then I'm okay with my commander being bounced. That will make a Wicked trigger. Each opponent loses 1 life. And then Krark is back on the stack. Krark resolves, and I will just... Right, I might have Delirium. I have Delirium, so I have to attack.
Alright, Pontus, I will help you out. I will exile your Magus of the Moon and make my commander grow a tiny bit. Do you still have Delirium?
No, but I still have a 6/2 Dragon's Rage Elder, so I should attack. And there's a Necro player, that's also Mons, so double whammy, hit you for 6 months.
I take 6.
And I'll pass.
Untapping, not drawing a card.
In my cleanup, the Mutavault stops being a creature, which means it can no longer be enchanted by enchant creature enchantments. So this falls off and deals 1 damage more to each opponent.
Pontus, I'm going to remove a land from your graveyard. I am going to cast a Culling Ritual. I am not paying for any set triggers. You can draw 2 cards.
And cast Remand.
I'm going to respond to your Remand by paying 1 life and casting a Force of Will, paying extra for your tax effect.
Because I don't want to give away free mana, I'm cracking my treasure and my Lotus Petal for 2 red. Then I have nothing else.
I am going to destroy Agathasol's Cauldron, Deathrite Shaman, and this artifact. A total of 3 things.
And for me, you get 4.
3 for me.
And 4 from me. Trigger the Wicked Roll, each opponent loses 1 life.
Trigger Sheltered by Ghosts.
And I get a Stormkill artist.
I actually forgot you get the Stormkill back. I had a very cool plan. So I have 9 black mana and 5 green mana in my mana pool. And I suddenly realized that Pontus got a blocker, and I had a really cool play right now going on. And I want to cast Hatred. So the normal play is to cast this once no one has declared blockers. The problem is I have the mana in main phase, because Culling Ritual is a sorcery. So it has to happen now. So I can't post blockers combat trick this. And Pontus just got a blocker. I was going to add Nos his deck. This is actually a really cool card inside Kotis. But now it's not going to ultimately work. However, Pontus is not going to die. And Pontus is a greedy player. Maybe he wants to keep his Stormkill artist around. And he doesn't care about his life. On the other hand, we have to actually kill Grand Arbiter Augustine here. Because if I'm exiling a bunch of cards from Pontus, nothing happens. Because I'm hellbent. I'm out of mana. I'm going to pay 10 life, making my Kotis into a 13 power punch. So I'm going down to 11. Before the mana disappears, we're also going to cast an Orcish Bow Master. And also a Crop Rotation 1/2. Sacrificing the breeding pool. Finding a Gaia's Cradle. Which is actually gonna help us out because we have 3 creatures now. I'm gonna put 1 damage at Stormkill Artist on Pontus board state. Then Emil, I'm punching you for 13. Please don't block. You wanna showcase your deck, right?
Before blocks, cast an Apostle's Blessing, targeting my commander.
This game was going great for a moment. Then something changed. I don't know what happened. I think Pontus blocker got... I don't know. Any case. pass turn, pass on life. No, wait, I'm gonna pay 6 life to basically drop to 7, going down to 5 life remaining, and then I pass turn.
Well, that's an interesting draw. Plains is gonna play a Charitable Levy. So, Charitable Levy is a 2-mana enchantment, and it says non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast, but not forever. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, you put a collection counter on this, and when it goes to 3, you sacrifice this, you search for a land, and you draw a card for a mana vault. I'm going to pass.
Untap and draw. Okay, move to combat. I'll attack Pontus for 2.
No blocks, take 2.
I will post combat main phase, pay 1 life to draw 1 card.
Putting 1 damage at Pontus' face to prevent Pontus from storming off and wheeling too much on his turn.
All right, I gotta put something in the bin, unfortunately, so that will be an abrupt decay. Pass my turn.
Go to my turn. No, my action's awkward, so I'm just passing.
We are not drawing a card, but we're untapping. The first thing we're gonna do is cast Legolas Quick Reflexes, paying for all the taxes. I'm then going to go to combat, attack with this creature, and kill Emil's commander. And I'm attacking at Emil.
Going to cast Plan Vision, targeting my commander. Trigger Charitable Levy. It says exile target artifact or creature, then return it to the battlefield under this owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. And it has a counter, Charitable Levy, does its thing. So first I draw a card, and then I put a Plains into the battlefield, a Plains card.
When you draw a card, I'm going to grow my army and put 1 damage at the Stormkiln Artist, hoping.
So fail to find. I have the basic Plains in play already, so I accidentally drew it.
You don't block, you take 4 damage.
Signet, Imposter Mech, Fairy Mastermind, and Arcane Signet.
Those are some pretty good hits. We are going to cast Arcane Signet, Imposter Mech, and Fairy Mastermind, all 3 of them. Now, because of that commander that is still alive, all of them costs 1 more. So I'm paying 3 mana to cast them for free.
In response, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, and I really don't want double Arbiter. So I will tap 3 to cast a Soyova's Justice to remove the Grand Arbiter before there's a clone effect, and before it wants its mana to protect the clone effect. Soyova's Justice reads, instant for 2 mana, the owner of target artifact or creature with mana value 1 or greater shuffles it into their library, then that player discovers X, where X is its mana cost, or mana value.
I'm going to respond. My empire is crumbling, but I am going to defend it. I'm going to pay 1 blue for a Swan Song. And also, I want to give you a bird, because then you can kill mons.
Soyova's Justice is countered, and I'll make a bird and a treasure because of the Stormkill.
So I'm casting Imposter Mech, Arcane Signet, and Fairy Mastermind. And I'm gonna have the Imposter Mech become a copy of Stormkiln Artist. Land drop, mana confluence, pass turn.
Again, not what I want to draw. I'm going to settle for this. Seacron Coast, Witch Hunter. So this is one of these MDFCs, the new MDFCs that enter untapped. Enters and destroys target artifact or enchantment as its ability. And I think that's a pretty neat thing to go with against a particular vehicle.
Imposter Mech is destroyed. You get it back to your graveyard.
Yeah, I'm going to pass.
Take my turn. Yeah, I gotta pass this Diabolic Intent in the bin.
Go to my turn. I will tap 5 to cast my commander. Play the Snowcloud Mountain, Seat of Traitors dice. 3 mana, cast a Molten Duplication targeting Zada, trigger Stormkill Artist. Molten Duplication gets copied by Zada. Sadly, the copies happen before the copy of Stormkill, but I make 3 treasures in total. And I'll get a copy of Stormkill, the bird, and an additional copy of Zada that will just die to Legend Rule. I'll sacrifice 2 treasures to cast a Gamble, trigger Stormkill Artists. I'll make 2 treasures, and then Gamble resolves. Putting this card in my hand and discarding a card randomly. Ah, shucks. Discarding a Flick a Coin. Sacrifice 2 treasures, cast a Crimson Wisp targeting my Zada, trigger Stormkill Artists. Trigger Zada.
I probably should respond, otherwise people will hate me forever. So I'll pay 2 mana and cast a Ghostly Flicker targeting Witch Enchanter and my Hallowed Fountain.
No response.
So it's going to enter and kill the one Stormkiln artist.
My copy artist dies.
Yeah, before it puts like 100 triggers on the stack.
I'll make 3 treasures from the Stormkiln artist's triggers, and I will resolve 4 instances of Crimson's Wisp. So I will draw 4 cards.
I'm going to totally put 2 damage at your Stormkiln and 2 damage at one of your birds. But then you can keep drawing your cards. I'm also going to draw a card because of Fairy Mastermind.
Stormkiln dies and a bird takes damage.
I'm actually killing the bird that is the living one, so the one that is going to die at the end step is the one that's remaining.
The Ghost Flicker was 1 interaction too much, so I have no more actions this turn, and my bird dies in 9th step. Go ahead, Nos.
Not drawing a card, water grave into play tapped. Rhetoric, I'm attacking you with my commander. It is a free 2. We are going to cast Fate Transfer, targeting my orc army that is sitting with 7 counters on it and then targeting my commander. I wanna move 7 to my boss. Voltron! It's happening actually.
I have a response to your damage because I got to play this game. How about a trick bind?
But it was gonna be so cool.
The trick was cool.
I don't get the trigger, but you take 10. Pass turn.
Reality chip. Pay 1 blue and float 1 mana. Because I want to equip this to my commander, let's say. Displacer Kitten. Floating 1 colorless. 1 colorless for a Spring Leaf Drum. Trigger Displacer Kitten. I want to flicker my mana vault.
I'm going to respond by activating my Fairy Mastermind, making all of you guys draw a card, including me. Everyone draws a card. This is going to trigger my Orcish Bowmaster 3 times, and I'm gonna put 2 damage at the Displacer Kitten and then 1 damage at Emil's face.
It's really sad to see my Displacer Kitten go. Then I will look at the top card on my deck. I will play a land, Misty Rainforest. Activate Misty Rainforest. Put Island into play to cast the Fairy. Downtick it, targeting the Bowmaster.
Bowmaster goes to hand.
And I draw a card.
I draw a card because of Fairy Mastermind.
And cast Hidden Strings. Target Tundra and Hallowed Fountain. Put this onto my Vault Boy Cat Collector. Then I am going to go to combat and swing Grand Arbiter at Rhetoric.
No blocks.
I'll untap 2 lands because this triggers again. Sadly, I think I just have to pass.
I'll draw a card. Oh, that's terrible. Witchclaw Talisman in the bin. Pass. Not a good game. I'm having fun watching. Go ahead.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be a Channel land. Casting a Breach.
Going to pay hard casting a Commandeer.
My bridge is stolen. I will pay 4 mana to cast a Frontline Heroism mini Zada. ETB, make a red 1/1 token, and when I cast a spell with only 1 target, I make a 1/1 that gets targeted by that spell. And then I pass.
I didn't find a breach, but this Seal of Fire is my Underworld breach. I have 1 colorless mana floating. A Mystical Tutor. I'm going for Time Twister.
I'm gonna cast Orcish Bowmaster. Orcish Bowmaster is gonna put 1 damage at the Emil's blocker. Then we're going to activate a Fairy Mastermind to make everyone draw a card. This is gonna make 3 Orcish Bowmaster triggers, and I'm gonna put 1 more damage at Emil's creature, and then 2 more damage at Tymna. Combat, I'm going to attack and kill Emil with my 7 token and my Fairy Mastermind, while actually Pontus might retaliate and kill me. So I'm going to have to keep my army home and Fairy Mastermind home just for safety. I'm killing Emil with my commander. Emil's dead, pass turn.
End of your turn, I will flash in this Valley Flood Caller. Move to my turn. I will pass.
Go to my turn. Cast the Red Flame. Make 2 red. Use those 2 red for a Junk Pyromancer. I'll tap a red and a colorless to cast a Krankos Command to make 2 1/1 goblins. Also triggering Junk Pyromancer and making a elemental. I'll pay another red to cast a Stadium Headliner, and then I'll pay a red to cast a Spark of Creativity, targeting my commander. Trigger commander, trigger Pyromancer, trigger Frontline Heroism. I will make an elemental. I'll make a warrior. Then I will have a copy for each creature from Zada and an additional copy from Frontline Heroism. So I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 copies, 10 copies of Spark of Creativity on the stack. Choose that creature, exile the top card of your library. You may have Spark of Creativity deal damage to that creature equal to exile's card mana value. If you don't, you may play that card until end of turn. So I'll exile the top 10 cards from my library. I'll put my hand aside and draw 10, but exile. Cast a Mox Opal. I will will use Mox Opal and the Murder Zone, activate my Stadium Headliner, sacrificing it to deal damage to the Orcish Bowmaster equal to the amount of creatures I control.
It's dead.
I will sacrifice 2 treasures to cast a Desperate Ritual, making 3 mana. I'll use 1 red to cast this Ancestral Anger, targeting my commander. Trigger Young Pyromancer, trigger Frontline Heroism. It says does stuff, and I draw a card. They get Trample and +0/+0. No, +1/+0. So I actually need to have a hand again. So I will make a Elemental with the Young Pyromancer, I'll make a Warrior with the Frontline Heroism, and I will make a copy of Ancestral Anger for each other creature, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will draw 11 cards. I'll cast the Mox Diamond, pitching this Gemstone Cavern. Casting Battle Hymn, I would like to make a red for each creature I control. Swan Song will counter the Battle Hymn. I'll make a Swan. And my Young Pyromancer trigger will resolve, and I'll make another 1/1. I'll tap Mana Vault, I'll sacrifice the treasure to cast a Treasonous Ogre. I will pay 6 life to cast a Twin Flame targeting my commander. All the triggers happen. And then I will have a bunch of Twin Flames. I'll have 1 to 11, so 13, 14, 15, 17 Twin Flames, and respond by paying 6 life to casting Dual Cast Mage. Try stopping all of them! I'll make infinite Dual Cast Mages and win the game. Good game.
I hope you enjoyed that very long, dragged out game. Some misplays here and there, but in the end, Pontus got there. I'm not happy about this. We'll be back next week as always. Take care, guys. See you next time.